This is backwards. We don't want to look at my face. We want to look at this comic. Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. How's everybody doing today? This is I'm just clearing these display names. We don't need it when it's just one person. How you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today it's Sunday Comics, everybody. I just love doing Sunday Comics. It's like kind of like everything that I wanted to do with this channel. Just talking about comic books with people that are interested. So if you're new, what I do with Sunday Comics is I just take one comic and just go through it. Uh, it's a lot of fun. Usually I do like older comics, but this week I'm going to do Rome Eternal. I was going to do it last week, but I couldn't find it. Jeez, I still can't find my original copy. I had to buy another copy. My beard is lopsided. I had to buy another copy. I if something gets filed away wrong in my collection, then it's like the Ark of the Covenant. It's just gone forever. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, that's my comic book room. So my first copy of Rome Eternal is in one of those boxes somewhere, and it'll show up sooner or later. But I'm sure people don't mind that I bought a second copy. So this is by Magma Comics. As you can see, there's a little bit of a glare. Magma Comics. This is a new comic. I think issue 2 just came out last week. It's brand new. Magma Comics. I'll go through the credits on the inside because I don't remember everybody's first name. But just check out this cover. Now, why am I doing this cover? A comic. First off, it's cool. Second off, it has to do with Rome, and I that's like the whole trope that you see, or meme, or whatever the cool word that you young kids say. All men think of the Roman Empire. Yeah, I think the Roman Empire a lot. I'm not gonna say every day, but I think of the Roman Empire a lot. My college degree was in Greco-Roman history. I'm fascinated with Rome. I love mythology. I just really like Rome. So the premise of this book is it's like an alternate Earth. What if the Roman Empire never fell? So it's like current day, although I don't think they say an actual year, but it's like a modern world with Rome, with Rome aesthetics. So Rome like pretty much controls the whole world. And it's like, I don't want to say a dystopian future, but it's like a dystopian Rome. It's alternate Earth. Really cool. So there's a modern tech with an ancient look. I can't help but think like Humberto Rios, the writer and guy who came up with all this. It's like a Jack Kirby Mobius marriage. Just I just love this. Just check out the cover for a minute. Now, I would be remiss in my duty if I didn't say that this is Oscar Carano does the coloring. Oscar Carano, oh, he's right here. He's watching. Oscar is working with me for Eddie is Doomed. He's also working with me for Heroic Tales. Just a talented, not just colorist, but he also does. He also draws. He does it all. He did some lettering for the cover. He's just a talented guy, fun guy to talk to, and boy does he know his comics. He did an art lesson for like an hour on my channel, and I like to do art part 2, an art lesson 2. But I just want to take just look at this now. Second off, the coloring is outstanding. The character design is outstanding. Just look at all these. It's I forget exactly, but Oscar was telling me that like Magma Comics and Umberto, he was on my channel, was telling me that it's some sort of like spin-off of like the original Heavy Metal. I forget exactly. My memory is just crap lately for new stuff. All right, now before I open up the comic, I'm just going to address the chat. First and foremost, Heroic Tales. Oh, I got to delete that. That is the wrong information. I don't want anybody clicking on that. Oh well, it's there. It's there. But this is the this is the the actual link. I put the wrong link in there. That link wouldn't work for anybody else, but this is the correct link. Heroic Tales is still available on Fund My Comic. Fund My Comic is a platform for comic creators by comic creators, for comic fans by comic fans. So I'm pretty loyal to that. It's a run by a guy named Luke Stone, who he'll help you. He'll help you. And you know, I'm sure everybody's sick of this, but I made every mistake possible when running my campaign, and Luke fixed every one of them. Just personalized help. We got Marcus over here. How you doing? How you doing, Marcus? Praetor. There's a perfect name for this comic, Praetor. We got Oscar, the colorist for this comic, right here in the chat. So the pressure's on to get all the facts right. We got a random booby. Good morning, everybody. I hope your coffee is hot. I just made a pot of coffee. Let's see. Is it still hot? Not only hot, but delicious. And I like Tim Hortons coffee, Canadian coffee, soon to be the 51st state. Hail, y'all. Hope you're having a blessed day. All right, now I can relax. I got my blessing. Everybody's saying hello to each other. I love that. This jerk is throwing his link everywhere. Does Christianity still exist in this Roman world? Good question. Good question. Didn't show up in this issue. So we'll see. And then Marcus is throwing my links out because he saw that I put the wrong link. All right, so Rome Eternal. Let's open up the book. I thought oh yeah, Homero. What I said the wrong name, right? Well, that's why I wanted to wait until I opened up and saw the actual credits. But I don't even follow my own. I don't even listen to my own words. Why would you listen to me? I don't even listen. All right. So going forward, I will talk the pages and then address the comments. So written by Homero Rios, which is why I should have waited. Art by Diego Yapor. Oh my God. I want to see where this guy's career is going. This is the first I've heard of Diego Yapor, and I hope it's not the last. This art is outstanding. From the art to the design to the backgrounds, it's just so good. And then this fellow over here, this Oscar Carreno guy, just making color so good. Oscar, the secret project that I'm working with Renzo, the mythological thing. This is how I envision the colors. Right here. So we'll talk about that once we get chugging along. Letters by Sean Lee, edits by Bobby Curnow, and variant cover by Alan Qua. I didn't see the variant cover. Now I'm curious to check out the variant cover. But why is it slanted? This is driving me nuts. I don't. Is that not slanted? Okay. All right. So it says Locator Rome. And what we have here is a Roman phalanx meaning fingers. The Greeks had the hoplite. The hoplite is from the hoplon, the Greek shield. One it was 3 feet wide, a yard wide, big enough to protect the person in the middle and the right and left kind of thing. But then the Romans adapted a rectangular shield, and they had spears rather than, the Greeks had a spear and they had a little small sword, but mostly it was the hoplon and the spear, and it was basically just poking. They would crush each other and poke each other. Not as many fatalities as you would imagine in a war, and the Romans. So that's called a phalanx, meaning fingers. So they would all just form a row. And the reason why the Spartans were the best at it is they were the most disciplined, because as you were creeping forward towards your enemy, I forget if it's to the left or to the right, but you just had a tendency to creep to the right to get covered by the guy next to your shield to protect yourself. It was just the normal psychological move, but whereas the Spartans would go straight. So the Spartans were able to take advantage of this psychological tendency to everybody to creep one way. whereas the Spartans would go straight, just because they were disciplined. And that's why that and the fact that they trained all the time, they were just better physically conditioned. Well, the Romans they changed it to like a rectangular shield, so each person could protect themselves. And then they had a spear. The sword was a backup weapon. You know, I know every movie they have them all sword fighting and stuff like that. I forget, the Roman auxilia is the name of their sword. The gladius is the sword that the gladiators used, but the spear was the main weapon. Spear was the main weapon. So I'm glad to see that it's when I say historically accurate in this comic, we're taking sci-fi liberties with this. If the Roman Empire, this is, again, it doesn't say the year, so I'm assuming modern day, but this could be technologically advanced in the past. I don't know. It's like playing with the Roman aesthetic. So what we see here is, like it's a holodeck. Okay, so we got a holodeck over here, and we still don't know exactly what's going on, but there's a holodeck over here. We got a Roman formation, and then we got this. I'm not gonna lie here. This was a little jarring to me at first, because I'm like, what's going on with a holodeck? What's with these guys? And then this guy's got a gun, and it took me a page or two to understand. Okay, this is an alien reimagined sci-fi version. I gotta clean my glasses. Version of the Roman Empire, and I have to admit there was a disconnect in my brain when I first saw this. What's going on? Even though I think Homero told me this when he was on my channel. I think I was still. I'm trying to remember when I read it originally, because I got a download of it first, but there was a little bit like, huh? But I just love this, like, it's not quite Roman arm. It's like a Roman style armor, but the Romans had like a banded mail plates that were just like put around and then tied, so they had bands in the front, and then the back they had leather that you would tie it and pull it close. So this is like, more high tech, almost like a plate mail. So I'm getting into my D&D nerdiness over here, and then we got these guns over here. So what are they going? When you look at this, you see a holodeck, you see this form, and you see this form, but you still don't know exactly what you're doing. So there's you're gonna need to read. You know what I mean? So Navigator, what is going on? Does the host have memories of that day? I remember that day, by the gods. I remember when the Sergian rebellion broke out. The day Sergius Lario thought he could kill the emperor. Boom, that fills us in. So they're using a holodeck, going through memories to find out what happened on the day of the assassination of the emperor. Perfect. Boom. Brings us right up to speed. It tells us the tech level. It tells us it's a Roman ideal alternate Rome kind of history. Boom. First page setting is complete. The only thing we don't know is this 2,000 years ago with high tech, or is this now 2,000 years later? And so that we don't exactly know yet. So before I turn the page, I will adjust all of the comments. So Zach then says, does Christianity still exist in this Roman world? And Oscar says, maybe exists, but it's not part of the story. Okay. This cover is giving me vertigo vibes for some reason. I could see that. I could see that. Vertigo, for those of you who don't know, was an imprint, meaning it was like a little miniature publishing house within DC. So DC Comics had DC Comics, and then within DC Comics, there was a little office down the hall called Vertigo, where they put like their highfalutin, pretentious comics. But yes, this if this was coming out by DC, I could see it being a Vertigo. Sip of coffee. Just wondering about the world building. Yeah. Effing Oscar. Romans with firearms. Yep. True. There's a lot of Greek influences on Rome, but nothing. But noting the difference is more immersive. Yes. Yes. They existed near each other. Greece is near Rome. the Roman pastoral life was going on while the Greeks were going on. Greeks had this high culture and everything, and then Rome came and conquered it militarily, and the Greek influences just washed over Rome. Now they usually say that the more sophisticated civilization dominates the less civilized, but I would say like Rome and Rome and Greece. Which one was more sophisticated? You know, which one was more technologically advanced? That's for philosophers to decide. But I will say that they were almost, so similar. That they kind of influenced each other. And then later on, you had like the Byzantine. So you cannot say that like later on that the Greeks reconquered Rome. It's splitting hairs. It's an interesting thing to talk about. There's a download for this book. I wanted to check out the first issue, but I couldn't find a digital version. Oh no, Oscar sent me a digital copy. He wanted me to check it out. So I mean, it's only $4. So, how much is a digital version of comics? For comics, indie comics. My digital download is $6. So, like, go to a comic store and it get the physical copy. It's cheaper than indie comics downloads. Off to church. Go get some church. I wonder how Asterix story goes. Oh, that's funny. Asterix is a French comic, right? Is Asterix French or is it British? I think Asterix is French, and it's about Gauls in the time of Julius Caesar. It's humorous. I got a collection right over here. I remember a little kid. My friend's dad used to travel, and he used to bring comics from all over the world. Carl, and I would read Asterix over at Carl's house. That it's Denmark. It's Danish. Okay. I'm an American. We don't know the real subtle differences between the Europeans. We don't know. We are the center of the world as far as we're concerned. All right, so let's check out more pages. So what's going on? They're investigating the day an assassination attempt. So, I just really look at this panel right here. This panel setting up what's going on, but I love this. So they got the Oxlias. I think that's the name of the sword. We got this roundish shield. Just a beautiful setup over here. These Roman structures. I can't think of the correct word. And then Laurel had no idea what was coming. Boom. Chariots, flying chariots. Now tell me that's not Kirby inspired. Tell me that's not, it's Kirby with veneers of Mobius plastered over it. And I'm going to say that a lot. This comic is like, I don't know if it's Homero or Diego, but these two guys, they like their Kirby, they like their heavy metal, they like their Mobius. It's all thrown in, and I don't want to say a dog's breakfast. A dog's breakfast is kind of when there's no thought to everything. You just, I got this, boop, throw it in. I got this, boop, throw it in. This is more like an alchemical, a more planned blend, with skill rather than just haphazardly thrown together. Just, because you could see it's the armor is high tech, but with like I just love that design. I dare say it's like a superhero-y design, sleek, elegant. It's just so good for comic books. But tell me that is not awesome. Look at that. We got these wheels that it just looks like these are the anti-gravity generators, and then this is the thrust in the back. It's just now. Oscar, it's so cool that we have Oscar in the chat with us. Maybe you could tell us, but like, who designed these? Did Homero, the writer, did he describe everything and then Diego just drew it, or did Diego help design everything? It's just so cool. It's just so cool. I gotta adjust this. And then here they're charging. So now the Roman are just charging and taking care of the rebels. When I say taking care, I don't mean giving them cookies and milk. I'm meaning they're giving them spears through the guts. Boom, 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 boom. And they're just being routed, I guess is the correct word. Routed. This was the first page I painted as a test. They give me the project. Okay, so this was your tryout, and you got it. Yeah, I mean, look at this panel. You got it just based on this panel alone. Decal says, Tex, the colors aren't that Kirby-esque. Yeah, well, Kirby had a hand painted. I forget the technique to what it was called, but you know, and I don't want to use this word, but I can't think of any other word. But more primitive. This is now, you know, digital painting and a lot. You know, like I think fair to say that the old Derby was for Derby. Old Kirby was hand painted flats, but this, you know, more digital painting. You know, of course, the you know, than 50, 60 years ago. All the scene needs is a giant Batbird thing like in Heavy Metal. Yep. Okay, Oscar's answering the question. Diego described it all, but Diego descriptions, but Diego designed it all. Okay, cool. So this, you know, writer and artist working together. Geez, what is wrong with me? I can't speak anymore. Because I stayed up way too late and then woke up way too early. For those of you who don't know, I don't, you know, who am I to follow me? And again, I got the Eye of Agamotto over here. I love that. But last night, David Brink, who does Genuine Comics, he asked me if I could host a launch party for his Kickstarter for Perfect 10 number 5 and Power Trip number 2, and he had a $500 goal, and we got him over 1,000. We doubled his goal last night, 2 hours, and I was just so happy because Dave is such a good guy, and I really like this comic. So I was so happy, and I was just like, I was drinking coffee because I wanted to have energy, and I just couldn't go to sleep. I just couldn't go to sleep. And then I set my alarm, and I was like, oh man, I dragged my butt out of bed today. Sorry, Homomo. That's what I thought. I didn't want to correct you, but yeah. So Homero described everything, and Diego designed it. A perfect blend of artist and writer working together. That's why I stopped talking. I was waiting. I get a Meta Barons feel from the face at the bottom. Yeah, Oscar. I think will confirm that Meta Barons is a, you know, purposely evoked from this face over here. Okay, let's turn the page. And again, this is only a month old, so I kind of feel bad showing the whole comic. But you know, Oscar suggested it, so I got permission from one of the staff, one of the creators, one of the guys. So that's cool. This right here is when I was like, okay, I get it. I was a little confused. I didn't understand what exactly was going on. Is this in the past? Is this in the future? You know, obviously they got high tech, but I don't know what it is. But when I saw this staff, this spear, so we got this Legionnaire Roman. You know, and the spear has this like unnecessary LED lights in the spear. You know, it's not particularly sharp. It looks like a bomb. And I was like, okay, I get it. This is just fantastic Rome. You know what I mean? It's impractical. It's not realistic. It's just instinct. It's just, you know, Meta Barons meets the Eternals, jam-packed, you know, just go with it. And this is what, oh, now I gotta sneeze. And this is where my nitpicky brain was just like, relax, John, relax. Just oh God, just enjoy this wonderful art. And all it took was this like impractical spear, and I was like, cool. So this poor guy's running. Now, again, is he a poor guy? Is he a horrible terrorist? Is he a freedom fighter? I don't know. I don't know. I can't, I'm taking in my Roman history part, and I'm like, the Roman Empire is complicated. You know what I mean? Like, you could read stories of like the horrible Romans, the oppressors and colonizers who slaughtered and exploited. And then you could read stories about how other city states and other places fought to become Roman citizens so they could improve the quality of their life, and every once in a while I got to remind myself that I can't use presentism to judge the Roman Empire. I'm sitting in a seat 2,000 years removed from the Roman Empire, and as much as I consider myself, conservative, you can't help but like have like liberal. Well, I when I say conservative, what I really mean is I'm a classical liberal. Liberal is in that I believe in individual liberty and free will and small government, stuff that would get you labeled extreme far right today. But it's really a shame that I don't like to use the word liberal anymore, because then people think you're a crazy child mutilating leftist. But I'm a classical liberal in the fact that I believe in a limited government, individual rights, individual liberty. I'm a crazy person. What do you want me to say? So I can't help but judge the Roman Empire through that, but it's not fair. Also the Roman Empire and the Greek demos democracy is where we get these ideas that influenced our government. So, like I said, Roman Empire, it's fascinating and it's complicated. So as I'm reading this, I automatically think that these guys are the good guys, but then I'm like, but Rome not necessarily is the bad guy. It's depending upon which story you're focusing on and things like that. So I get sucked in. I immediately feel bad for these guys, because it's, the little guys versus these well-armed guys with weapons. But then I'm like, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're the bad. So I'm going through, long story short, long-worded way, because that's my nature. I'm going around in circles trying to figure out who's the good guy and who's the bad guy. And then I came to the conclusion that that's interesting. That's interesting. This isn't a superhero comic. When I see the superhero swooping down, I want that superhero to be the good guy, unquestionably, black and white, four colors kind of thing, because that's just the stage that I'm at in my life. But this is more of like a sci-fi alternate history kind of thing. And I will have shades of gray and ambiguity and in that type of genre. So I came at this, superhero comics. I probably read a stack of superhero comics right before reading this. So right around here is where I was just like, I don't know what it was, but this image of the spear just, caused my brain to like, unclench, open, relax and accept. So there you go. So right over here is where I just was like, all right, I'm here for the ride. And again, look at these colors. Like Oscar said, he's doing digital painting over here. And it's just so we got this flying chariot hits this guy, and it does it make sense? No. Why would they be shooting arrows at this guy when they got guns? Because it's freaking cool. That's why. It's the rule of cool. The rule of cool. As my nose is running after my sneeze. Forgive me. And why do you have shields? Do these shields block lasers and bullets? I don't know. But it's cool. And so you still don't know exactly 100% what's going on. All you know is that there was these people tried to kill the emperor, and these soldiers put it down. And we got this guy over here. Oh, I gotta adjust the camera. Sorry. This guy over here is captured. This guy's spitting on him, and then we see what's this? We got a kid. And this guy is just getting summarily executed. And then the connection is lost. Boom. It's the end of the memory. And the next page, we'll talk about that. I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's address the chat before I go on. Marcus says we drew Perfect 10 on the studio last night as well. Yes. Perfect 10 is the name of Dave Brink's comic from Genuine's Comic, that issue 5. We did the Kickstarter launch last night. It was a lot of fun. Excited that it worked. I'm glad that I can help Dave. And the studio is a YouTube show every Saturday at 7 Eastern Standard Time on the Don Draws Stuff channel. And Marcus and Don and James D and Omer Glitch and Duck Bacon and sometimes others, they show up and they draw. And it just happened to work out that they were drawing Perfect 10 on the same night that Dave was launched. Sometimes synchronicity works out well. Number 2 of this is in stores right now. I got to go pick it up. I don't have issue 2 yet, so I got to go pick it up. John Douglas, good morning and God bless. And bless it. Oh, yeah. Everybody's blessing me after the sneeze. Sorry about that. Good morning. Issue 2 is sitting on my bedside table waiting to be read. Cool. Crenshaw, did you pick this up because of Oscar and I like talking about it, or did you catch your eye in the store? I mean, it is a really cool cover. I got to say, I was talking to Oscar. I was going back and forth with like designs for the superhero characters in the Eddie is Doom story that we're working on. And then he just sent me a picture, just a cover of Romy Turner. I was like, what is this? What is this? Just that cover got me intrigued. I mean, it's pushing all my buttons. It's so easy to judge the past with our current sensibilities. Absolutely. Absolutely. Cultures change, and what looks barbaric to us was Tuesday for them. Yes. Yes. And keep in mind that, I know this is controversial to say, but what do you want me to do? I'll get my dirty snot napkin over here. It's the Judeo-Christian world that gave us, charity and kindness. Before that, the world was cruel. It was a cruel, selfish place, and it had to be for survival. It had to be for survival, So, and it's easy to judge that selfishness and cruel. They were bad. They were bad people. But you would do the same thing. Like, as much as the show drives me nuts, Walking Dead, in the first couple of seasons at least, was to me the best part of The Walking Dead was, well, the best part was the zombie makeup, but the second best part was watching how normal, good, honest, regular people in a civilized society turn to selfish, cruel survivalists in a social collapse. And you have to do that. Like, the one scene that I always think about is why can't I think of his name? The main character and his son, Carl. They're driving in a car, and they see a regular human, and he has a sign, "Help me, please. I'm a good person." I don't know. I just got emotional just think about it. And they drive past them. Don't even think about them. It's just they don't have enough supplies. They can't take on another person. And then all the events of the episode happen. Who cares? And then they drive back, and you just see that person's body with blood smears all over the place, and that sign just laying on top. You don't know. Was he attacked by other humans? Was he attacked by zombies? And you know what I mean? And they stop, and they go through his backpack. To me, that was a powerful scene. This was regular. He was a cop. Rick Grimes. Rick and Carl, they were good people. Carl was a kid. But the situation just, did they feel bad about it? I don't know. They didn't even address it. But to me, that was a powerful scene, and it worked so well, showing you how good people and of course, that's not zombies, but in a we have the luxury now. Like, this is going to sound awfully cruel, but even the homeless people are fat. in America. How good do we have it? You know, my friends are like, how long is it going to take before there's a revolution in this country? And, blah, blah, blah. I was like, we're not, we're not, we're not, we're not going to take up our guns and go down and give it up. My biggest complaint is that I don't have enough, extra money to buy more comic books. Things aren't that bad right now. But so the point that I'm trying to make is, with Random Booby says, people were the way they were because that was the way they needed to be. And I'll stop my philosophy and get back to the comic. Everybody's saying hello to each other. It piqued my interest when you had the writer on. Oh, cool. He was a cool guy. He just seemed charming, didn't he? Agreed about The Walking Dead. It fell off after season 2. I forget when I stopped watching. I saw The Governor. So whatever season that was, but it just got crazy. I don't think I survived the Roman. Yeah, I don't think I would survive either. If we were born into it, yes, but if you were to transport me into the Roman Empire and let's pretend that I don't get everybody sick or get I'm inoculated for and against getting everybody sick, sci-fi. My wife and I, again, were talking about this last night, transporting back into time. My wife is taking a class for Christian counseling. And of course, we're like, hey, if I time traveled and met Jesus, and I said, the first thing you would do is run up to Jesus and hope that he cures you so you don't get sick or spread disease. And she rolls her eyes. I always have to ruin everything. But yeah, if you would have just picked me up, hell, if you would have just picked me up and put me in Africa right now, I don't think I'd survive. You know what I mean? I don't know how to skin a deer and hunt and farm. I'd starve to death in a wheat field. Oh, I already commented. All right, so let's look at the next page. So boom, what do we have here? Look at that face. Oh, the camera's not off. We have a glare. Look at that face. Look at the coloring. So what do we have here? Boom. The confusion, the disjointedness that was still in the back of my mind as to what exactly is going on. This page answers it. So we got this guy called the Navigator, and then we got this guy's the Navigator, the guy hooked up to all the machinery, and this guy is an investigator, and they're taking a survivor from that day of the attempt assassination, and they're probing his mind. This guy is literally walking around through his memories as if it's a 3D Oculus. And what happens? They're finding out that one of the assassins brought their child, and the child witnessed everything, and now the child has grown up and he's staging a rebellion. So like we got to report this. This is interesting. And he's like, I want to go back in and get more information. And the Navigator's like, no, we can't do it, blah, blah, blah. And he says, I don't care. I override your authority. Yeah, because I just want to. So right over here, he's just like, I'm stating for the record that I don't want to do this, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, okay, you did your duty. Now do as I command. Just, and again, if anybody's looking at this and does not see the Mobius and Metabaron influences and all in heavy metal, then I don't know what to tell you. But it's just so good. This guy Diego, so good. And boom. Now, like I said, this comic to me was like going down steps. A lot of comics, I just slide right in, but this was like, I don't understand it. This isn't the Roman history that I know. What's going on? Why does that guy have a gun? And this is now where I was like, I'm in. I am in. So he goes into the memory, you could see like the next generation, the holodeck walls are closing in, and the false memory reality is overriding. Like I just like how you see the lines over here I keep talking about this, and I think I confused the last person I was talking about this, but I don't know if I'm explaining my thoughts pretty well, but time in comic books is wonky. Okay, so we read comics in a Z pattern. We start at this panel over here. We read, and then within the panel itself, I'm going to look to see if there's a good panel that I could. We read even in a panel. We read in a Z pattern. Okay, none of these really like. Okay, over here. So we would read this and then this. So meaning that these words were spoken before these words were spoken. Meaning that within so it's easy to understand that within a page, even though it's a double page spread, but it's easy to understand that this panel happens before this panel. It's easy to understand that this panel happens before this panel. So, but I think we all get it, but we don't articulate it. But within this panel, these words are spoken before these words. So that implies that within this panel, this time. And that's why I'll forgive a guy, Spider-Man punching Dr. Octopus and then Spider-Man saying something, because in a fight, when you're throwing the punch, humans don't really pontificate in a fight. But you could say like, hey, knock it off, buddy. We've all seen those videos where the guy's like, knock it off, knock it off, knock it off. Okay, boom. So I could accept that Spider-Man saying, Doc, stop, Doc, stop, Doc, stop, boom, and then punching him. And that's the panel, Doc, stop, Doc. Because even in the panel, there is time. Otherwise, all of these word balloons would be on top of each other. And that doesn't happen. So like, it's just one of those things, just it just happened intuitively. Like, you knew that when you say Sergio Laris, you son of a bitch, you took your own son with you during the rebellion. Now your damn runt is a terrorist. We understood that it takes time to say that. And even in this word balloon time, because all the words aren't on top of each other. So it just, through physical space of typing, through, overlaying the word balloons, it shows us that there is more than just a snapshot within. So that's why, in my mind, this sword with the blood swings, because within a panel you have to animate it. And that's why last night, if you watched with Dave Brink, I was talking about that character Wisp in the force field globe. If you didn't see well last night, you're not going to know what I'm talking about. But I said how she's moving and it looks like she's sliding because she's inside a force field bubble. There's nothing to grab on. She's off balance and trying to ready herself. So cool. So, oh, here's the panel. I confused myself. So I had to say all that to explain this and how it works so well. I'm not thinking about it. It just happened so well that right over here, just from watching Next Generation, from reading comic books, we're seeing that this is, he's being sent into this thought matrix, for lack of a better creative term, that it's being filled in. So over here is the computer building this hologram, and then here's the hologram, all within the panel. So time is happening inside this panel, and there's only one word: behold. It's just so cool. It's masterfully done. And we have this guy, Observer, and what's going on? A creepy cult. Creepy cult. I'm in. Creepy cult. I'm in. Are they the good guys? Are they the bad guys? They got creepy cult masks. I still don't know. I mean, I know what's going on now. We got this Imperial pseudo Rome interrogating a terrorist for trying to kill the Emperor. But I don't know who's the good guy, who's the bad guys. I want to know. I want to find out. And that's the important thing. I want to find out. So look at this guy now. What are they doing now? They're just preparing, doing a creepy cult ritual. And, he is observing through the memories of the captured terrorists, and, I'm prepared. Let's begin. This guy's being, I got to adjust the camera. This guy's being anointed into the creepy cult. Just look at these faces over here. Oh, I was going to turn the page, but I didn't address the chat. Which ancient civilization do you think would be the most devastating with alien technology? Wow. Probably Rome. Rome was the most utilitarian, but oh, what am I kidding? The Aztecs. Aztecs would kill everybody. You know, I keep thinking of a comic book idea, but I need to do a lot of research. I just keep thinking about an English sailor, you know, pre-Columbus. So like the, like what was it, 14? I forget whatever year. So we'll say around 1415, before Columbus, that a really bad storm, and he just drifted and drifted whatever off course, and he crashes it in Aztec Mexico. So now he's in the Aztec Empire with no preconceived notion, nothing. He's by himself. He just, he's almost like just naked wandering, and he sees these Aztec priests just killing people, ripping their hearts out, and throwing bodies down, blah, 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 the pyramids. And then seeing other priests walking around, literally wearing the flayed flesh, and he's like, I'm in hell. I am in hell, you know. Ancient Carthage too, with the sacrifices to Moloch. I don't know. I would need to do a lot more research, but I think that's the germ of an idea. So there you go. I hope that answers your question. Just popping in for a bit. I'm wondering if there's some divide between the warrior class and the engineering class, since they seem to be using high-tech versions of the. Yep, that is interesting. Again, I'm only a one issue in. I didn't get issue 2 yet, but yes, I was thinking about that too. Like the Klingons. The Klingons obviously have scientists and engineers. The Klingons obviously have nerds, but we very rarely see the Klingon scientists. It's always cool to see the Klingon warriors and warrior class, So like, how are the nerds treated in these warrior societies? That's interesting. There are some little Star Wars there. Rebels versus the Empire. Absolutely. Absolutely. I had a story where Cortez came to America, but Aztecs killed him and take his boats and conquer Europe. Oh, that's interesting. Is that a comic someplace? I'd read that. That's interesting. A little Mexican revenge. So let's turn the page. So what do we get here? Oops, I didn't mean to. You touch that, the light goes on, and then we get glare. So what do we have here? We're introducing like all of these wacky cult guys. So this guy's like, oh, camera's not on. So we got the creepy cult mask that, I don't know. It just gives me the creeps. Just these chains for no reasons. I only read issue 1. And, you don't have all of the information. I don't have perfect information to draw my conclusions yet, but yet I'm interested. The inclusion of these chains just gives me the creeps. It makes it think that these creepy cult people aren't necessarily pure good either. So I'm reading this comic, and anybody dies is okay with me, because I don't know who the good guy is and I don't know who the bad guy is. And I get a feeling that the good guys aren't necessarily all good. And so I just think that like nobody is pure good, in this creepy Roman high-tech world. And we got this guy, the sun guy. What does she say? I am the virgin. So everybody is like taking like archetypes and masks and costumes. And what are we doing? We're introducing the super team. And the navigator, this Roman detective is walking amongst these memories. Keep in mind, these are digitally created holographic memories from the prisoner's mind. So he's just walking through, as if he's not there. And then we got I am the soldier, and then this guy. Just check out this guy. Behold, I am the Raven. And if anybody knows me, knows that I have a character, Raven, who's going to be introduced in Heroic Tales 3. So I'm like, Raven, another one? I will show you mysteries of Mithra sacrifices, and then behold, I am the Persian, and then So one by one, the team is being revealed, and then, you know, the cult guy in the mask, a close up of his eyes to show you that there is a person behind the mask. He's not a robot. He's not an android. And then boom, he goes, all of a sudden, all of the technology kind of backfires, whatever. But, snaps us back into the real world. The real world. Shadowpunk says great artwork. Yeah. Great artwork, great coloring. Creepy cult people are usually creepy and evil. Yeah. Like I said, I want to know what's going on. So now, oh, camera's not quite. So now we're in the real world. They're discussing that they saw a secret mystery cult. So mystery cults were real things. The Eleusinian mysteries, the mysteries of Mithra, these were real religions in ancient Rome. They could even argue that Paul, when he went to Greece, created the Christianity was a mystery cult for one while. And there's definitions that turn like a religion into a mystery cult. Usually they start out as like a mystery cult and then become a full-fledged religion, meaning you don't tell outsiders your rituals. So Christianity was originally like a mystery cult. The outsiders weren't allowed to know the secrets, but then it became evangelical, and then it's just like anybody who's interested can pick up a book and learn everything about a Christianity. So like some people say like Mormons is kind of still a mystery cult because you're not supposed to really share all the information with non-Mormons. Scientology is a mystery cult. I don't know, like, are we all the secrets of Islam revealed? I don't know, but whatever. But they really were mystery cults is what I'm trying to drive it. And then we got the Raven up here, like Batman. Just look at that up on the tower, like Gotham City is Rome. How this Praetorian guide is a little bit mad. How did you got to go get all the mysteries. You got to how did these people penetrate so deep in? And he's now he's looking at other he's got the helmet on. He's trying to get more information. And then look, boom. And that's, like I said, steps. This was I'm like, I need to go. So this Raven guy just breaks in, just a sci-fi superhero. You know what I mean? It's like I said, this comic is like a dog's breakfast implies no design. You just throw everything into the pot and see what happens. This is an alchemical blend. This is done on purpose. Just so cool. Just look at that panel. Tell me you're not sold by that panel. You shouldn't be here. Guards. Okay, mysteries. I'm in. So the mysteries, I guess, is the name of the super team, the mysteries. Please follow the bright lights. That's the signal. Boom. And then what does he do? He releases these drones, and they're like, like bird-like, insect-like drones with this horrific circular light for a head. It's just so freaking cool. Oscar, I'm currently writing a superhero comic based on Aztec mythology. Cool. I have an idea for a Mesoamerican superhero just called the Jaguar, and he's gonna have the shield. He's gonna have the square shield, the square wooden sword, but with the obsidian blades. You know what I mean? But I he only exists up here as a prototype. So Oscar, cool. I'll help in any way. So I was thinking of like El Jaguar patrols Mexico, fighting cartels and stuff like that. So look at this. So I gotta adjust and I gotta lift this so we don't have glare. So we got these drones just flying around, just freaking exploding. Boom. We got people reacting. And again, I'm not reading the comic to you. I don't want to read the comic to you, but just we got this freaking juggernaut guy, just the soldier. You have 60 seconds to kill all you can, and the clock is ticking. Percy's. And look at this. Look at this. Just is just cool. So he comes running in with this high-tech, unnecessarily over-designed, over-rendered mace, but it's freaking cool. And he's just stomping around. And we got this guy, Percy's, the Persian. So I assume if he's Percy's the Persian, that like his power would be like immortality from the immortals, the 10,000 personal guard of Cyrus the Great. So he just runs up his back and jumps. As he's pulling out the sword, and then these guys are like, "What's going on?" And look, boom, boom, boom. He just, he's not pulling out a sword. He's basically pulling out like a repeating crossbow. 2 shots to everybody, and he lands. May the will of Mithra be done. How freaking cool is this page? Just look at this animation. He runs up the back of the big guy. He uses him to launch. I even love the shield has this little notch taken out of it, and that's real. The shield would have a notch so they could use the spear, and they could rest the spear on the notch, and basically use it like a pool cue. He's just shooting. If anything, that's just a little bit you can't quite see. I don't know, but you can see that it's a repeating crossbow over here. And then he lands. May the will of Mithra be done. And he looks up at the drones. These are not quite the same drones as the Raven had. There's no comment, so I'm going to just go to the next page. Fight fairly, the soldier says, with his blunt instrument. Why? Because the drones are firing lasers, missiles. It's not quite clear. Amala. Please help, please. What's going on? Oh, so he's talking. And what do we have? Don't worry, I'm on it. I've got it. So the Virgin is over here. She's apparently the sniper, taking out these drones. This team is just working together, synchronized, teamwork. And then we got the sun guy, moths. The moths are being drawn near a human god. So this is the sun-based character. And again, there's no comment, so I'll just go to the next page. And what does he do? So I'm like, does he have powers? OS, fire, tiny moths, fly and burn before the mighty Heliodromus. And look at his face there. He's got this high-tech wrist thing. He's just firing. It's not quite fire. To me, the way it's drawn, the way it's colored, it looks like plasma. Because fire doesn't explode. If you hear me go on and on and on about the Human Torch isn't just fire. The Human Torch is thrust. So he should be the Human Jet. And this guy, he's talking fire, but to me, this is plasma. So it's superheated. I'm filling the details. Oscar's here in the chat. He can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just superheated plasma that just causes an explosion as it heats up everything. To me, that's the only way it works, because fire doesn't do this. But superheated plasma, yeah. And then he says, "I'm aroused as F right now." So this guy is a sociopath. This fire guy, and it kind of works because a lot of like serial killers and sociopaths, they start with burning, So look at this characterization. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 words. 10 words. And already I'm like, not everybody's a good guy. We got a plasma wielding psychosexual psychopath over here. These golden eyes, it's not. Are they the good guys? Are they the bad? I still don't know. I get again. This is. Are they more like the Authority that are good through violence. You know what I mean? Ends justify the means. I don't know. I need more. You know. So here they are. This Raven guy, the Batman guy, is just gathering evidence. You know. So I just like that. Like the fire guy just goes in, takes him out. The brute guy smashes everything. The Raven guy is using stealth and cunning. That's the word. To you know, he's gathering the information, scanning everything, sending the information back to the other people. You know, I just like how everybody has like a specialty. Oh, Oscar has a comment. They're like a Black Ops team. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, and you know, so this to me is like an analog of a superhero team. So, like I said, if this came out in the 90s, man, I would be all over it, you know. But I'm getting messages. So this the navigator gets a knife. So now we're back a fight in the real world. I know this is how you want. So now he's fighting. Like, tell me what you know. How did you know it? Where did you get this? You're nobody. I could kill you right now in the most painful way. No. So now this tough guy, the interrogator, now the shoe's on the other foot. You know, I don't want to read because there's some dirty words. And they're rescuing, you know, the Black Ops team is rescuing their boy, their hostage, you know, their comrade, whatever word you want to use. And here's the Raven over here, just like, all right, take him, let's go. Here comes the soldier. Here, you know, the Persian. They're looking at the interrogator like, you know, not so tough now. Again, look at this coloring. Really good. Oscar, did he tell you like color bright green, or did you fill it in? We are the mysteries of Mithra, and you, them, all of Rome. I don't give an F. You're all gonna die. So here's the team assembled for the first time. Just so cool, you know. And he is a kid, you know. I mean, he's the child that we saw earlier with a couple of years on him. You know, we still don't know his significance. We're learning all that stuff. This is just like a nice touch. Shows like, you know, a cable. It just shows that like they probably don't follow OSHA standards. This is probably a nice power cable that could be easily pulled out, but the Romans, they don't care about that. It just shows you like whatever works, whatever gets the jobs done. And here we got, you know, this brutality and destruction. And then the next page is just like the beauty and elegance of like the seat of the capital. And what do we have here? The emperor. The emperor's just laying in bed with, you know, some high-tech life support systems on him. This was the only thing that pulled me out of the comic. Your deathbed guy, would you be laying in bed in armor? You'd want to be wearing comfort, you know. So I would just imagine he would be. The only thing I can think of is he knew he was getting a visit from, you know, an official, so they dressed him up, otherwise to prop up the illusion that he's powerful. But otherwise, you know, if I'm laying in bed convalescing with you know, life support systems on, you're in pajamas. And here we have a praetor like swearing, Caesar is wise, and that's why he asked for my help. Caesar wouldn't be Caesar if Sergio Leonidas had succeeded 50 years. So this is the emperor that survived the assassination attempt, and he's commissioning this guy, my brave javelin Germanicus, destroy Pater and his mysteries once and for all. So it shall be done for the glory of Rome. Dun dun dun. So now we have this guy, the old wizened guy with the scar on his face, you know. And they've been hinting at this. If Germanicus was here, this wouldn't happen. If Germanicus was here, well, Germanicus is here now. Is about to get real. Next issue, we got this to be continued, and then we got this over here. And you know, a little bio of Homero Rios, a little bio of Diego Yapor, and then a little bio of our buddy Oscar over here. And then what did Oscar say? He's working on Heavy Metal. He's currently working as the colorist for Rome Eternal, for Magma Comics, and an independent comics like Heroic Tales and Doomface. So I got a shout out in a mainstream comic. How cool is that? That is so cool. Night of the Slashers. And this comic was such good quality that you better believe I'm going to hunt down a copy of Night of the Slashers just to check it out. Just to check it out. You know, I don't know any of these people. It came out in October, so it's already out. So when I put in a back issue Bonanza order, I'll put in an order for Night of the Slashers. So I love this. I love this. You know, they had me from the cover. When Oscar sent me a picture of the cover, I was like, I got to read this. This is just right up my alley. And then I was nervous. Like, what if I don't like it? What if I don't like it? And there was a couple of times where I was like, I don't understand. This isn't what I expected. And then I realized that I was doing what a reviewer did to my comic. They made expectations based on what they wanted, and then it wasn't what they expected. So and then I'm like, no, wait, let me judge it on what it is rather than what I thought it was going to be. And then boom, I was in, you know, and I really, really, from the character designs to the story to the, you know, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, are the good guys all good? But this is Rome, you know, and Rome isn't the good guy, and Rome isn't the bad guy either. Rome is Rome. So I am in. I am just, I can't wait for issue 2. I mean, issue 2's out now. I can't wait to get my copy. It'll come any day now because I get my comics once a month from Discount Comic Book Services. So probably next week I'll get it. How do you feel about the so they're all okay, let me go. So Torchbearer Studio says, good morning all. How you doing? How you doing, Steve? Good to see you. How do you feel about them using our curse words? Well, they're using our language. You know, first off, this is written in Spanish. Omero's Mexican. And then I don't know if Omero is translating it into English or if Magma Comics is translating it to English, but they're using our curse words. Yeah, they're also using our language. So, you know, it didn't take me out of it. It didn't take me out of it at all. It says it took you out of it, but it didn't take me out of it at all. It's just like, you know, when you watch British shows, movies like I, Claudius, stuff like that, that, you know, they talk with a high flute British language, but they use colloquialisms. It's just the way nature of the beast. We want Americans to read it. We got to use it. But I mean, if you watch Spartacus, that you know, that TV show with all that nudity and gore, they use our curse words too, and it didn't take me out of it. You know, Game of Thrones used our curse words. You know, so I asked if coloring questions, and Oscar said, nope, I use colors that contrast the characters as they pop. So Oscar had a control over the colors that he used. Cool, and it worked. My question for Oscar is, how detailed is the line art? Are they really painting this comic? My question for Oscar, he asked twice. What do you mean? It's digital painting. So I think what yeah, there are no black and white pages, but that I would be interested, Oscar, to see uncolored, just to see like how does Diego's work look before you color it. But it's gorgeous painting. Gorgeous. I really, really like it. It's gorgeous artwork. It really is. It really, really is. And Oscar, when I was talking about that mythological story that I want to do with Renzo, this is the coloring that I was painting. This is the coloring that I was painting. This is the coloring that I was picturing. You know, so there you go. What's on the back cover? Just says Rome Eternal on the back. So there you go. I really dig it. I really dig. It's different. It's unique. It's you know, an Elsewhere story set in, you know, sci-fi Roman Empire. It's just so cool. It's just so cool. Great characters. You know, look at it. It's basically a superhero team set in a sci-fi Rome. You know, now are they a villain team? Are they a superhero team? You know, we'll find out. So What do you think? So as of now, I'm pretty much done with talking about this comic, as far as showing it. So it's just I'll keep talking as long as the comments keep coming. So Oscar says, okay, then Oscar, you're choosing all the tones in shadow. Okay. Shop talk between artists, but I again, issue number 2 is out now if you're interested. Oh man, I gotta wake up because at 12 o'clock I got friends coming over. We're gonna play role-playing games. We're gonna part 2 to a superhero story. In part 1, my 4 friends came and investigated a mysterious energy reading, and it was found in China in a flooded city. So they're searching this man-made reservoir with a city underneath where this energy came from. And what did they find at the bottom of this man-made lake? A dragon, a chained dragon. So that was the big reveal. And now total party kill. I was away for a few minutes. What did I miss? You missed, I don't know, a few minutes to this comic. Great comic. Diego suggests shadows. I make colors and plain separations. Yeah, it would be kind of interesting, Oscar, if you have any, just the line art, because it's just so cool. Because you do more than just color a regular comic in this. Like you said, you digitally paint it. It's really, really, really well done. Like, is it more time consuming than what you would do for Mary Sue, my story, and the suit? Oscar colored the story of the origin of the suit in issue 1 of Heroic Tales, and in Heroic Tales number 2, he's colored Mary Sue, which looks fabulous. But that's more traditional comic book digital coloring. So I imagine this has got to be more time consuming, but it looks awesome. So, all right, I'm gonna go eat something, and then I got to go set up my table. My table is all covered with Final Girl board game. I got to clean it off so my friends could come over and we could play our role-playing games. So there you go. This is Sunday Comics featuring Rome Eternal. So I'm gonna let's see, what do I have scheduled as far as this week, as I hit the wrong button. This week, Monday and Tuesday I have nothing as normal. Monday and Tuesday I have board games. So Monday nights I have board games, Tuesday night, and if they don't show up, then I'm gonna do what you're reading, because I got a big old stack of comics. Wednesday, Sinopia Publishing at 7 o'clock, and then at 8:30 I'm over on RG's channel for a comic book team up. Thursday I have a hole in the schedule. Hey Oscar, Thursday, do you want to do a art class Thursday at 7? Oh, Thursday at 7. I might have Chuck Dixon. I reached out to Chuck Dixon, and he was like, "Oh yeah, sure, John. Yeah, I'll come back on. Yeah, it's been a while." So I offered him Thursday at 7. If Chuck Dixon doesn't respond, or if he says no, Oscar, you'll do art. Valentine's Day, the 14th, I got nothing. And Sunday Comics. It's clobbering time at 8:30 on Friday. It's going to be a battle of intellect. Dr. Doom versus Lex Luthor, because let's be realistic, Dr. Doom is just going to destroy Lex Luthor in an all-out power battle. So Oscar, okay, if you want to do my 6 o'clock, that's fine, because I'm not working this week. That's fine. But if Chuck Dixon says yes, I'm sure you can understand. I got to go with Chuck Dixon, because if he says jump, I say how high. But there you go. That's what's going on. Oh, I saw another comment. William Byrne. Hi, I'm new here. Came over from the Dave Bink channel. Cool. Good to see you. It's always good to see a new name. Thank you for checking out. I'm finishing up a stream of where I talked about Rome Eternal every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I take one comic, focus on one comic for whatever reason. This one, because Oscar, my buddy, ask me to do it, so of course I say yes. Sometimes people that like Marcus suggest comics. I'm like, oh my god, last week he suggested Marvel 2-in-1, and I was like, oh my god, I haven't thought about that comic in so long, and it was just such a fun treat to go through that comic. So that's what I do on Sundays. It's really one of my favorite things. It used to be my total favorite thing, but now it's clobbering time in this. They're both the fun things for different reasons. So there you go. And my comic book, Heroic Tales, it's still available on Fund My Comic. The campaign for issue number 2. I'm just waiting for Daniel, the colorist, to color the cover, and then he's going to color a couple of pages that Renzo sent, and then we could get the trailer made, and then boom, it's ready for the campaign. So that's it, and we're ready to launch campaign number 2 real soon. All right. So there you go. No problem, Oscar says. Welcome, William. You will like it here. John is the best. I don't know if I'm the best, but I'm enthusiastic. I got no problem saying that I'm enthusiastic. I got problems saying I'm the best. But thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good day. We got to go. We got snow, and I got to prepare for role-playing games. So bye-bye. Thank you.